So let's do this. Let's do this. It is time to get it done. Woo. All right, let's get in. Let's get it in. I think it's that time again. Let me get my mind right. And let's start some things here. All right. All right. Getting things set. Starting where I need to start, and that's from the very beginning. Don't have my box wine, but I do have my wine, so I'm ready to go. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone's had a good hump day. Let's get into it, man. Let's talk about the games here. So we do have a really good slate today. What I like about this slate are there's still a lot of avenues where people may not think that there's money to be made, but I think there is. I think the underdogs come prepared. This evening's a good evening for underdogs to win. I see it. So, looking at yesterday, I thought about that waking up. And thank you for everybody joining in. I appreciate it. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you go and like my Twitter page. I'm always on Twitter. I'm trying to eagerly reach that 10,000 tweet mark. So thank you for all the support. Getting back to the games on last night, what I noticed was something very unique, and it was my own betting angles. So me personally, what I learned from yesterday's games was even though Phoenix is as good as they are, you still don't want to take these favorites with such a heavy line. So just moving forward, when you look at games and you have favorites playing against a team where they really don't have to get up and give it their all, they just have to do enough to get by. It's a huge gamble, but don't try to stay away from these large spreads with these favorites. I mean, sometimes that you're more than welcome to take them. It seems like teams are being blown out by large numbers, but at the same token, please watch out for these games. The Suns should have never won that game yesterday, to be honest. They should not have won that game. They stole it in overtime, but they should not have won that game. They messed around on that game. Martini Mark, let's cash it, brother. Yes, it's good to see you, man. I see you a lot, man. I really appreciate it. I'm humbled by the support. Really, I am. And so it's my job to do what I can to make sure I can get y'all some extra bread, because that's what I'm trying to do. So from yesterday, what I learned was even though I won that game, that wasn't a win that I would brag about. So just learning as a rookie mistake, stay away from these large spread games where the favorite is obviously going to win. They're playing a crappy team, but you just don't know the mindset of these favorites. Secondly, when you have these spreads where the line is so narrow, just like this Hawks game, you had that with the Golden State and New Orleans game, and you had that on multiple occasions with Milwaukee Bucks. The first line being 3.5, and then this one being about 1.5. That's a crapshoot already in itself. Now, people may have different narratives in which can drive them to have one of the teams as a favorite. But when I look at these games in the long run, there's really no wrong side, so there's arguments to be made for both ends. Nets could have won that game easily, and so could have Golden State. But you just see teams really either come together at the end during clutch or fold and not know what to do. So when you have these games where the line is very short, it's almost a pick 'em. I mean, that's basically what it is. You can flip a coin, in my opinion, and whatever the result is or wherever the outcome is, you should be fine with that, win or lose. So enough learned on that game there. Let's go on to these. I was looking at these games, man, and I love it. I love what's going on with the card tonight. I really like the NBA tonight because you have some teams that are really needing to get up. We said that yesterday. New Orleans winning is a big deal. You have to understand that. New Orleans winning yesterday is a huge deal for that bottom tier because you can almost say San Antonio has to get up today, or that's just another L, right? So that just moves them closer into that 10th spot. And they made a huge advance, in my opinion, by beating Golden State. That was a game Golden State should have gotten. So the first game I'm looking at is Boston and Orlando. This game, man, I mean, I really don't have any movement on this game at all. Orlando, by far, should just get stomped. This will be the third game that they've played, right? The second game that they played, they were kind of on even terms where they had rest. The first game that they had played in January, Orlando was coming off a back-to-back. In this case here, the model is still saying Boston Celtics only wins this game by 6. In my, I kind of teeter. I would think because of how Boston is and who they are, and because you just basically got a team of, I don't want to say nobodies, but a team with no identity. These guys are just going to play street ball. They're going to try to execute the game plan, and they're just going to try to play the right ball. And when you have guys that you really don't know how to prepare for, that becomes a problem. And sometimes these large spreads really, they get out of hand. So if I were to look at the model, I would probably agree with it, but I don't have any movement on this game because I saw the last 2 games and they were pretty much handled by Boston. So I still don't have any movement on that game. I won't get anywhere, but the model says Boston does not cover. Next game is Portland at Cleveland. Lots of things going on here. Cleveland just came off an overtime loss where they just fell flat in overtime. I mean, 4 points, man. They had went toe-to-toe with Phoenix Suns all day. And for what it's worth, man, I don't know if Phoenix really came to play. I don't know what was on Phoenix's mind, but it was not Cleveland. They definitely overlooked these guys, in my opinion. They should have lost that game, even though I took Phoenix at a large spread and won. They came alive in overtime. When I look at this game tonight, I know you don't have Garland in there. You don't probably have you have Anderson Varejao coming out tonight. I mean, what is that about? What kind of schemes does he know? Or, what kind of actions is he running, or what kind of play sets or set plays do you have for him? I don't know if he just becomes a cleanup guy who just gets boards, to clog up the paint. But in this regard, it's Portland minus 12, bro. Portland minus 12. That to me, that's, I don't know. The model says Portland wins this game by 1 point. So, I don't get it. With Boston Martini Max, I do see Boston smashing or pass, no play though. You damn right, man. I mean, the model says differently. I've seen the last games, and how do you gauge that? You would have to play Boston. All right, next game I have, in which I think is, to me, a really good game. It's going to be Phoenix at Atlanta. Now, the line already opened at Atlanta plus 1.5. They already opened up as home dogs. I thought that was kind of not cool. I think in this case here, man, you don't have Atlanta as home dogs. It should just stay to pick them. Phoenix, maybe they did just kind of toy with Cleveland yesterday. But the problem is we've seen a lot of these back-to-backs that Chris Paul plays. And when he plays these back-to-backs, that second game, he's usually a facilitator. I did see him kind of take off. He didn't really play hard. He had a lot of time. I saw him on a bench a lot, which was kind of weird. But I didn't understand his positioning. There was a lot of times where I think him being on the court could have given them a larger advantage, maybe lengthened that lead, but he was off a lot. So it was indeed to prepare for this game. I personally think this was a play I've already taken. This is an Atlanta game to me. This is a small number, right? So this, once again, you can make an argument for either side. And I honestly don't feel that you're wrong, personally, right? So if you like Phoenix, take Phoenix. I mean, the line says they don't know. If you like Atlanta, take Atlanta. This is what I did because I knew the line would move. I took Atlanta minus 1.5 because if it's going to come down to a basket, this is already a crapshoot. Just try to get your best angle. And I just outright seeing Atlanta winning this game. There was no vig for me, or it was an even number on the money line, and it was plus 10 uh, with Atlanta minus 1.5. And so I thought that would probably be my best value. And so that's what I played. I play Atlanta plus 1.5. I think that's a good angle. I think there's just too much firepower for Phoenix. But at the same time, we can go back and forth. Phoenix has firepower. They've got D-Book and arguably the best point guard in the league. So we'll leave it at that. The next game, Memphis at Minnesota. CJ, what's good, bro? Thanks for coming out, man. I appreciate you. Looked at this game, and I really didn't have any movement on it. I don't know where Memphis is right now because I kind of feel that there is some tension between the refs and that team. So Ja got teed up, ejected. Head coach teed up, ejected. It just didn't seem right. So with me, I like the way Minnesota balls when they just all play on one accord. And really, my favorite man on that squad is Anthony Edwards. So if we look at the game very quickly, this is something that stood out to me about Anthony Edwards that I heard Talking Heads say. Really, really interesting to hear. And I listen to Kevin O'Connor a lot. Really interested to hear that he said that when you put Anthony Edwards on the court, he very seldom makes the same mistakes. So he is very quick to adapt, and he is very quick to realize and capture those mistakes and then learn how to fix them and correct them. So this is why he's always able to get off, and he's able to get off on that opponent. This will be the third game they play, and Memphis has had their number, right? But this is still such a short line. The first line was Memphis minus 6.5. The second was Memphis plus 2.5 for whatever reason. So in this regard, I would still lean Memphis, but I just don't like what I've been seeing out of them. So the model says this game, Memphis Grizzlies, do they cover? Nope. They say Minnesota wins by 3. This game is going to Minnesota based upon the model. So I'm looking at it. I don't know which direction to go here. So probably definitely a stay away for me. I will watch the game. I do think Ja comes back with a vengeance. You just can't hold him down forever. So I will watch that game. I think that's going to be a great game. All right, y'all. Next game I'm seeing here is Sacramento Kings at Indy. I just know I saw the starting lineup, man, and I think just about everybody's out here. Just about. I mean, when I mean everybody, I think the Batazde guy is playing, but there's no Lamb, no Brogdon. Yeah, you got Sabonis, no Sumner, and I've really liked Summer as of late. I don't know where to go here, man. I really haven't bet on Indy a lot. I like them when they're full strength. I like them better when they had Nate McMillan as a head coach. Anyways, all I'm saying, man, is I'm not putting any money toward Indy whatsoever. And Sacramento Kings, they've just been kind of on a tear. They've been kind of going upward, man. 6-3-1 ATS last 10. Memphis is right up there also. So, man, bro, what are you doing in this case? CJ, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that team is in disarray right now since they've gotten rid of Nate McMillan. Models say about ATL, the model has ATL winning this game. I'm sorry, I didn't even give that. 5.93 points, bro. Model has his game, man. Atlanta getting at Phoenix by almost 6 points. I'll take that. I looked at this line even before I looked at the model. I was like, okay, I'm higher on Atlanta. If you follow my picks, man, there's 2 teams I've been on. That's Atlanta and that's DC. You know it. I've been on these squads, man. You know it. So I'm back at the well with Atlanta. And if I lose this bet, man, I don't care. This is one of these things from the money aspect, you always care. So you always have bankroll management, and you make sure that's solid. But as far as a pride thing, things of that nature, putting your name on the line, man, if I lost, it's a crapshoot. So do as you must. Um, Next game, we were looking at the Kings and Pacers, looking at the model. Like I said, this game has. Let me exit out here. This game has. Holy cow. Pacers winning 3.7, so they don't even have the spread there. Someone would have to check Bovada. If I'm looking at this line in real time right now, my computer is slow, but the number didn't drop that much. It's -6.5 to -6, so that's weird to me. Also, I don't know what's going on with that, so I would just leave that game alone. Maybe look at a live bet, see if you get some movement there. So there's that. Next game, Philly at Houston. This is a favorite team with a huge spread, right? Huge spread, bro. 14.5 points. And so, you know, hindsight would tell me this is the model saying, yo, this is going to be a blowout. This is what I thought about Phoenix, man. But no, not at all. Not at all. This game here, for me, the model is already looking at this game as Philadelphia -3. So they're not even coming close to covering, right? So this could easily be another Phoenix at Cleveland scenario where the model called Cleveland or Cleveland +6. So Phoenix wasn't even supposed to cover that game yesterday. They got it done in overtime. But this could be one of those kind of cases to where if I'm looking at the model, even though my head says, yo, yeah, that's a Philly game. I mean, that's Philly is not Phoenix, man. Joel Embiid is probably the best player right now in the East. You know, I mean, you got the freak, but there's some argument to be made. I mean, he's got the highest net rating in all of the NBA, highest simple net rating. So he's got a raw, good net rating to where when he's on or off the court, it matters. But in this case, man, does Philly even want to go all out? Man, they got other things to worry about. We can already look at their schedule, and we can see what they're playing next. I mean, their next three is going to be probably a lot more difficult than the Houston Rockets. So if I'm looking at this line, man, looking at this game, they play New Orleans, who is they're going to give everything to you, man. They are clawing to get in that 10th spot. Detroit, okay, whatever. Indy, okay, whatever. So maybe not. So I don't think this is maybe a look-ahead game, but this is a game where you can still coast and win. So if I would give cause to pause for that long-ass spread, man, that just, to me, that just cause for pause. If the model has told me this about Phoenix yesterday, even though Phoenix covered, the model is saying the same thing today, I don't know if you would have the same outcome. So for me, it's really a no play. I don't have a play on a large line that long against a favorite who really has no motivation to get up for Houston. Maybe punch around Kevin Porter Jr. I don't know. I don't know how you look at it. So anyways, it's a pass for me. Next game, man. Let me take a little drink here. What y'all drinking on too, man? I don't never get nobody in the chat be like, yo, man, I got me some brown. I got me some white. I just got me a Modelo. Nothing, man. I feel like I'd be the only one up in here drinking. All right, it's all good, though. We'll go on to these next games. Another good game, man. This was one of my favorite games. And when I seen the line, I got there, bro. I had to. Wizards at Bucks. Okay, the Bucks have... Let's even get away from narration, right? Just look at how Washington's been playing, man. They've just been playing good ball. They've been playing great ball. And I don't want to go into deep discussion. I hear you, Donnie, you on the clock, man. I hear you, man. I hear you. I'm glad I'm off the clock. But about this game, me personally, it's a Wizards smash for me. The Bucks are basically sitting everybody. You just saw the injury report, so you don't have. I think you still have Giannis questionable. Middleton is out. You've got a lot of cats out here. And in my opinion, the Wizards are on a tear. They're on another level right now. These guys, while the Knicks were on this 9-game run, yo. The Wizards was right behind them, man. Right behind them, winning games. Now, you're going to talk about strength of schedule and things of that nature, but just remember, the NBA has been irregular all season. All season. So maybe factors that you may think matter, maybe in the past or with larger sample sizes, there has been no NBA season like this, bro. None. None. So, in my opinion, the line is 242 as far as the total. If you ask me, yes, I believe it's going to go over 242. Honestly, I do believe so. I believe this game is going to get high, maybe closer to 250. But the Bucks are still going to come out and play their game. They played probably, in my opinion, an easier defense in Brooklyn than what Wizards are going to give them. Yeah, even with the Bucks sitting people, I believe so, because Washington plays fast by design. If you don't know Washington's pace, they have a pretty quick pace. And best believe, and this was not with the last 2 games that you had seen Giannis throw up these threes, bro, but Milwaukee is still like top 5 3-point shooting team in the league. That's facts, man. They still up there. Dog. So if whoever's sitting, they still got enough people, man, where they can get up. That's the way I think about it. Now, you're missing some set pieces. Chris Middleton is the X factor with threes, but you got DiVincenzo. I wish this dude would get his head out of his ass, but you got old-ass PJ Tucker who can shoot from the corner. I don't know how they left Giannis so open. So, yeah, this motherfucker was hitting threes, bro, like he was Steph Curry, man. I was like, what is this dude on, man? Steph Curry. That Steph Giannis the Freak Curry was definitely balling against Brooklyn. I don't think that happens, man. Another X factor, man. This is something huge. And that is this Daniel Gafford dude, man, who I've just been watching low key. I've been lurking. Bro, this dude get up, man. Daniel Gafford might be taking some people's trap. I'm serious, man, because he's moving up in the ranks as one of the dependable players. Him and Russ are running a great kind of pick and roll. You know, it's a little different, but it's in any regard, man, that's one team you can't sleep on. So if you have to look at an advantage, in my opinion, the model is calling this game as the Washington Wizards winning by 1 point. Yeah, and it opened up at +6.5. I got it at +6. I know it's steamed down now to where we're at with this. It's probably gotten as low as 3. I still think there's value. And if they are still plus whatever, I think it's still value with Washington. Because me personally, my opinion, I believe Washington is going to win this game outright. So what I did do was I did go money line. It was +160. Money line +160 as just a little extra dab. I got a half a unit on it. Money line Wizards that they win this game. So I'm going there. So Donnie, that +6.5 is nice, man. I got it at +6. Trust me, that 6.5 didn't last long, dog. So don't feel like you had missed out. I mean, you just had to get there. Don't even worry about it. It's at +4 now, +3.5. I just think the plus side, you're still on the right side, if you ask me, because I believe Washington is going to win this game outright. So that's my play on it. That is a play for me. I definitely like Washington in this. And I mean, we're talking about Bucks at home, bro. Bucks 22-10 at home. Right? But it's just cause for pause. They play some 2 hard games in or against Brooklyn, rather. It's been a homestand against Brooklyn. And you still got to rest these boys, man. Postseason's right around the corner. So I do like Washington. Next game, man. Next game. New York at Denver. Pause. Pause. For whatever reason, man, I feel like this is a trap game. I do. I don't even know why. I feel like this is a trap game. It has something to do with the Denver loss, but it also has something to do with how they play against Denver. I we're talking new teams at this point, right? We got a new team, new coach. We've heard the commentary that came out that Julius Randle, I think he went on Zach Lowe's podcast and was like, I needed a coach who was going to make me accountable, who was going to make me play harder. And he got that out of Tom Thibodeau. Derrick Rose is playing out of his mind. Listen to the Ringer mismatch. Chris Vernon said that dude is like, what? He's at like 21-8 when he's playing on that team. Julius Randle shooting 50% from the arc. I mean, that averaging over 30 points a game. This team is a machine. But something happened in Phoenix that I didn't like. When they played against Phoenix, something happened with that lead, and I couldn't figure it out altogether. This team is due for a mental breakdown. They're due for a mental breakdown. And this is why I feel that they can have a mental breakdown here. If Malone runs the right scheme with Joker obviously playing that point center position, then there's going to be some problems. Because they're either going to have to double him or they're going to have to let one man play him. If they double Joker, then he's going to kick the ball out and there will be open shots. Now, they won't be as open, and these shots are going to have to come off quick because, as you know, New York does close out on the three very quickly. But it's going to be a lot of that happening. So you're going to have to make these concerted efforts, Thibodeau, whether to double Joker or really whether to isolate him with one player. And who is that one player? It can't be Randall. It can't be Mitchell. It can't be any player right now. Who is going to step up to stop Joker? I don't see who that is. I know they work well as a squad. I think I don't even know who the entire injury report is, but in this case, I stayed off the game. I know people are heavy on the first half. People are heavy on the first quarter. People are heavy on the Knicks. I would be too, and I am. But it just gives me cause for pause. Something about this game just, to me, I could just be wearing my tinfoil hat here. They just lost to the Lakers, I know. So why wouldn't they get up for this squad? Why wouldn't the Nuggets get up for this squad? Are you saying that they're not a good enough team to where they can't beat the Knicks? I mean, why isn't the spread higher? Because the Knicks are that good, right? So that just things seem fishy about a game to where the Knicks, to me, should be the obvious favorite, and they're just not. I couldn't gauge this game. The model is even showing this game, the model, right? So if anything, should we listen to this damn model? The model has the Knicks winning by 2.73 points. So there you have it. I shouldn't even have anything else to say. If I'm on the Knicks, the model is on the Knicks. It should be a no-brainer. But I would rather watch this game because I want to see the chess match between Tibbs and Malone, to be honest with you. I want to see how they get Joker involved in what he's going to do. Michael Porter will only have to shoot those corner threes. The thing about it is, remember, Donnie, remember, Michael Porter gave the green light to Aaron Gordon, right? So the real question is, what the hell is going on with Aaron Gordon? I think you got some people out for Denver. If you follow me and watch the NBA show that I do with Kev, you know how I've said that Denver's a set-piece team. There's a bunch of glue guys, and they all move in one accord. So this one here, I can't really gauge why my gut is saying Denver's going to come out and get them. I don't know if they'll cover. But I think people are looking at this game, not saying, "Oh, the Knicks are going to come out and just lose by a couple." People are thinking that the Knicks are just going to come out and win. So you would think there would be a lot more push even on the money line. But people are taking that vig. They'll take the 110 as that safety net and just say, the Knicks should just crush them. I'm pretty sure a lot of people went on Knicks first quarter, Knicks first half, because that's where they dominate with the Suns. I feel like they get it done, but man, I want to watch this game with no money attached. That's just the way I'm feeling about it. All right, man. Last game that I got here is San Antonio versus Utah Jazz. Utah covered last time. I took them. I took them. The spread is -7.5. It's down to 6.5. I've liked San Antonio earlier, but there's some things about San Antonio that kind of rub me the wrong way. I really don't have a play on this game. If I had a look, it would definitely be Jazz. Uh, the model is even showing this game as a Jazz blowout. It's the only blowout on the entire slate, and that's Jazz -13.2. I would look Jazz. I took them last time, and I cashed off of them, and so I would only look that direction again. Jazz is kind of under the radar. They're going to beat you regardless because they play good ball as a team, and they play good defense. And with the Spurs, the only way Spurs, in my opinion, is going to beat the Jazz is if they make shots. But to me, your sixth man of the year should still be in consideration, Jordan Clarkson. And I think the Jazz can still blow these guys out. I would agree with the model here. So those are my looks, man. I did go heavy on Atlanta in the alt line -1.5, and I did also take Wizards +6. I haven't gotten anywhere else. There are some games I'll probably live bet just to see how the flow go. And I do like the Jazz, man. I might get there again just to go back to the well. So those are my plays I got right now. Donnie, my locks that I have are those plays. So with me here are how my locks go. Pour my damn wine. My little case of wine. So let me tell you how my locks go. Just so you know. If there's really no such things as locks, and I don't knock you. No, I don't knock anything you're saying, but just so you know how I get down. My locks basically are the plays that I'm going to put out on the video. So any video that I make, you'll see them around the same time, man, where I'm saying cash it. Those are my locks. I don't really have a gauge for, say, having one play more confident than the other. I try to be just standard across the board, right? So I'm as confident about as Atlanta winning by a bucket than I am Wizards winning, and even Wizards even clearing the number. I feel equally confident. So that's why I took those measures. I did go Wizards money line, Wizards +6, and Atlanta -1.5 for an alt line for alt money or house money. So if Atlanta wins that game, yeah, man, that's got to go over. If you ask me, it depends on what the spread is. The Suns are going to shoot. D-Book should get you about 30. I would look at a prop for that. Chris Paul is going to give you about 10 assists, bro. I would look at a prop for that because they do have to get up. But remember, Atlanta right now holds the record for most threes in a row this season. They went off on a third quarter, man, and just went flame. They had like 11 or 12 threes in a row. So that's what I mean by firepower. That's really hard to do. That's really hard to do in today's NBA. Like, you got to have shitty defense, but 12 threes in a row, dog. I mean, man. Yeah, the Spurs and the Jazz props are cool, man. The thing about it, Donnie, and once again, thank you all for definitely listening. I appreciate it. One thing about props that I've noticed really is they're high on that VIG, so it's a gamble, right? So you'll see, say, Russell Westbrook, 10.5 assists at -128, right? And then you'll go Russell Westbrook, 11.5 assists, and it's +102. The thing about that, Donnie, is if I were you, man, if you're new to prop betting, me personally, you're paying too much VIG, dog. You're paying too much of that. And when you get into props, it is all mathematical. I mean, you have to understand the books that you're playing against right now, man. This is all math. LeBron James, Giannis, KD, these guys are not people, if you will, man. They're not people. They are they're a numerical equation. So a VIG is this: when you're betting, wherever you bet, you will look at this game. Let's just say Philly and Houston, and this game is saying Philly has to win by minus 14 and a half points. If you make that bet, you'll see a number in brackets, and you'll see it be minus 110, right? So that 110, if you want to just put it in layman's term, let's just say that minus 110 is $1.10. So what it's saying is if you want to win $1, you have to bet $1.10. That 10 out of that 110, that's the VIG. That's the VIG. Some people call it juice. Some people call it steam. There's a lot of different names for it, but the VIG is what you pay the books. Whether you win or lose, bro, you're going to pay them that VIG, okay? So that's what that means. So even if you bet $1, the books are going to pay you out 90 cents. So when you see something that is minus 110 or minus 128, when that starts getting over the 110, 115 mark, that means you're paying the books extra money to make that bet. And so when you hear the term juice or that number's juiced, what they're saying is that number in parentheses, that VIG, it's steamed up. So you're going to pay a little extra to make that bet because you're probably going to win it, right? So the books are like, hey, even if you win, you're still going to pay me. So that's how it goes. And with me, I'm kind of greedy, man. Even being a Vegas resident for 4 years, you learn how to get past the VIG. And there's these little occasions to where you hear the term, and you'll hear me use it a lot, house money. So when you see that number in parentheses and it says minus 110, once again, you would have to bet $1.10 to win $1. You'll see that number. And sometimes it'll be plus 105, right? So that's, at this point, that's considered house money. That's a more volatile bet. This bet is a little more tricky, right? And because the house is willing to give an edge and give their money away, they're saying this bet that you're about to make is a little more risky, and we'll pay you out for it. If you can catch them, you'll get the money a lot, man. You just got to know. And this is when numbers matter, because everything is a mathematical equation. So in this regard, you could buy down the number, in which maybe you're going to have to pay more VIG, or you can give up the number. Say, hey, instead of Houston winning by 14 and a half, man, maybe they'll win by 10, right? And maybe instead of a minus 10, you'll see a plus. When you see a plus number, Donnie, so plus 105 or plus 115, that means if you bet $1, the house will pay you, if you win, $1.15. So that's how that plus or minus number works. That's how the VIG's number works, and that is the house money. So that's a small, just simple, basic explanation. So if you're looking at house money, or if you're looking at that VIG, and you see the prop bets, you'll see this a lot, because you either have to play over or under, right? And in any regard, it's minus 115 for the over, minus 105 or minus 120 for the under. It's just some stupid stuff. So if, in my opinion, I just don't think it's really necessary to play props unless you really know how to play them, because you are going to have a higher VIG if you take their number. All right. And I think that's it, man. That is it. That is all the numbers. Let me go over them one more time. Boston Celtics, Orlando Magic. Model says Boston wins by 6. Portland Trailblazers, Cleveland Cavaliers. Model says Portland wins by 1. Phoenix Suns, Atlanta Hawks. Model says Atlanta Hawks wins by 6. Philly at Houston. Model says Philly wins by 3. Sacramento at Indy. Model says Indy wins by 3. Washington Wizards at Bucks. Model says Wizards win by 1. Grizzlies at Minnesota. Model says Minnesota wins by 3. New York Knicks at Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets lose to the Knicks by 2.5. San Antonio at Utah Jazz. This game is Jazz by 13. No point totals, Donnie. I only look at the spreads. Don't really play the totals. I'm just more of an ATS guy. All right, man. So I'm probably get back on Twitter. I just wanted to give you all these final numbers. I appreciate all of y'all, man. I appreciate all of y'all. I'm pretty much just kind of in the shadows. So y'all have brought me out of my shadows, if you will. So I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. Make sure you do follow me at Twitter. Make sure you follow my group too, man, at the Breakdown Sports. Fun group, man. So it's not just basketball. It's golf. It's esports, man. It's baseball right now. Huge on football. Make sure you follow these cats. Tons of information. These guys are winning money right now in golf. So make sure you get out to these guys. Follow them. Make sure you give me a follow. Hey, if you like something I said, let me know. If you don't like something I said, let me know, man. I'm open. Last question. Donnie, divvy parlay or straight bet? So parlays, no parlays. I hadn't done any parlays today. And my only straight bets that I did is the Washington game, money line and the spread, and the Atlanta game. I have done parlays, man. Go take a little history, man. You'll see why if you look on my sport, the Action Network, I'm up 61 units because I did do a couple parlays and I have hit them. I've hit 2 5s. I've hit a 6 game. So I have hit it, man, but you got to catch me on a good day for that. You got to catch me on some serious juice to do that shit because I have hit them. So full disclaimer, man, I really haven't been hurting that much until the Golden State game because I put some huge coin on those parlays, and I've really been playing off of that money since, from 3 months ago. So we solid over here, man. Just let you know that. And just also, I have a full-time job. So I commend the cats who really do this full-time, man. It could be, man, you give me high blood pressure because this shit is crazy. So, yeah. Again, man, thanks for watching. Appreciate the questions. Make sure you get out there. If you agree or disagree with the model, at least you have some type of gauge in which you can see where the model goes. Yeah, man. And I hope y'all cash today. All right? Take care, y'all.